What's up guys, I'm Nathan and in this video we're back again with another Anime Dimensions tier list for the new slime update where we got one character that is Diablo or Primordial in game, and as well as finally after about half a year a new dimension that is a slime dimension for level 106 plus. By the way, I'm going to be slightly changing the way that I rank the tier list just slightly so that it's maybe a bit more accurate. So S tier is going to be for once again the best characters, but the characters that you'll see being used a bit more and the characters that are actually good for some purpose. A tier is going to be good characters, like mostly even raid characters, but just aren't really used that much even though they are decent. B tier is going to be for average characters mostly, including the good gem characters. C tier is going to be for the below average characters such as mostly the bad gem characters. And D tier is for the rubbish stuff. So starting off with Broly, I'm gonna go ahead and put him on low S tier because he is quite good as an assist. So he does have some kind of purpose. Gilgamesh is also going to be an S tier, of course higher than Broly. Again, he's good as an assist but also pretty decent as a main. Now Biribiri is going to be in B tier. She's one of the best gem characters, but with the addition of Primordial or Diablo, I wouldn't say that, and I'll explain it a bit later. Basically, her first move does have a very fast cooldown, so that's good. The second move is kind of like Saber's third. The third move gives her extra mobility, which is why she is significantly better than Saber. And the fourth move is Railgun, which keeps her locked in for not much time and does a decent amount of damage. Anyway, Kokushiba is going to be an S tier, once again higher than Gilgamesh because he is pretty much one of the best mains for, for dimensions, not of course taking into account the fact that Sung Jin Woo is just a lot better. But you know, Kokushiba is still good because he's got good mobility and just a very good moveset for dimensions. Nezuko is going to be right there in S tier. She is also very good as an assist in raids because you can like basically use her as well as have her assist, which is really good. Though if you have Sung Jin Woo, you probably won't really be using her as your character that you're mainly damaging with. But her ultimate does pretty good damage and also removes the cooldown on her first 3 moves. So that basically makes her pretty good. Also, especially with Kurumi, she is quite good. Gray is going to be in C tier because he's definitely one of the worst gem characters. SDEF is going to be right there in S tier because she has pretty good AoE, one of the best for a raid character. And even though you might not see her being used much in like people's setup, especially in raids where you can see people's setup, that's mainly because she's a very old character and kind of not that many people have her, and those that have her usually might be just pros and will be using all the meta characters, but that doesn't change the fact that she's pretty good as a main and as an assist, so a little bit lacking in mobility. Esper or Accelerator is one of the limited time raid characters. He's still obtainable, probably will be until the next update, and he's actually quite good. Like he's worth using because he's got a pretty big AoE, and the mechanic of his ultimate basically allows it that big AoE kind of opens up wherever the enemies are. So when you're using if you're using him as an assist, it's almost guaranteed you won't miss because it just is directly targeting the enemies, which is why it makes him a good assist and also quite a good main because you can use the first and second moves and the third one removes the cooldown, so you can just use them again. And the ultimate lasts for pretty long, so I mean that gives you fairly long duration of iframes, and if you time the third move right, that also gives you iframes for just a split second. So if you can time that well, the survivability on this character is also quite decent. Katakuri is good, but I still wouldn't say he's worth it. First of all, you won't see many people using him even though you can literally get him at any time. He's not limited. But I'm not a big fan of his moveset because yes, his ultimate does remove all the cooldowns of all 3 moves, meaning you can spam him. He's like Kaneki but like a lot better. But I still wouldn't really prefer it because the ultimate has a very long cooldown as compared to most characters, and you don't really get much of the damage from the ultimate itself. You just have to rely on the first 3 skills for all your damage, which is why I don't really prefer using him, and you won't see that many people using Karakuri. Levi is a decent character for 3000 raid tokens. He has a pretty good moveset, but the damage isn't on the high side. But the third and fourth skills both give you iframes, which is pretty good. Naruto is obviously going to be in S tier because he is one of the meta assists in the game, because his ultimate has a pretty massive AoE, and it's a projectile, but then it kind of expands, kind of like Asper's but a bit faster. So he is a meta assist. He's got like really good damage, and he's also like obtainable, like he's not limited at all, so you can still get him. But keep in mind, he's only good as an assist and not really as a main. I would not recommend using this guy as a main. Rukia is going to be right there. Not Rukia, what did I say? Ryuko, I meant Ryuko. So she's also kind of like a meta assist along with Naruto. I mean, not meta, but still a very good assist and also a very good main. But she does cost Robux, and she's like a slightly worse version of Kokushiba. Alice is going to be right there in A tier. She is decent, she does have heals, but when you've got 100,000 stat collection points and you can basically get that lifesteal, the heal that she gives is pretty much useless, and you might as well go with a high damage character. Witch Megumin, kind of the same condition as SDEF. She is pretty good because her AoE is like massive, good as an assist, decent as a main, but you won't see many people using her just because of the fact that she's a very old character and not that many people have her. Rengoku is going to be also in A tier. He's more of a assist, once again, like he's more of a support. He's not that great as a main, at least I would not prefer using him as a main. Then we have this person. Saber is going to be in C tier because honestly Saber is not at all worth it, not even as a gem character. Bakugo I'm going to put on the lower side of B tier because at least he's a bit fast. Eugeo is also going to be in B tier because he does have his first move as a pretty good dash skill. The second move is Ice Specs, which is just decent. The third one gives iframes for a short duration, so once again if you time it right, it's pretty good. And the last move also gives iframes for a good duration with big AoE and also heals you a little bit, kind of like lifesteal. So Eugeo is kind of good. So, then we have Milan. Milan is going to be like right next to Nezuko, maybe a little bit below. But Milan with Kurumi is really good, and mainly Milan is good because of a good pet. With any good pet, Milan is really good, mainly because of the fact that she gives a lot of pet energy, and that's one of the highlights of her. The moveset, I mean, not insanely great, but it's mainly the fact that the pets, especially the mythical ones, do give some side abilities, like Kurumi removes cooldowns on all the skills, so if you can get that fast by getting a lot of pet energy, that makes you pretty OP. Infinity Gojo is kind of bad as a main. I mean, he does have good survivability because his third skill is going to give you iframes, and so is his last one for a pretty good duration, and his ultimate does allow you to spam. So I'm not saying he's a bad main, but well, he's not worth using as a main because his damage overall is definitely on the low side, especially compared to Esper. Like, it is a very noticeable damage difference. However, as an assist, he's quite good because he has a very big AoE in front of him. So if you just want to kind of destroy an entire set of enemies that are just in front of you in a line, kind of like you will see in the Fate Dimension 98, right? Just before the first boss, there's a huge line of enemies. So if you just pop this guy as assist, it's going to just demolish all of those characters just with the one hit. So in that sense, he's quite good as an assist, which is why I'm going to go ahead and put him on the lower end of S tier. Attack Titan is obviously going to be in S tier, or Eren basically. He's going to be in S tier because you can spam him and he's still like really good. At one point I'm pretty sure there was a glitch as well that made him broken with Yorichi. I don't know if it's still there, so let me know in the comments because I don't have Yorichi. But yeah, he's still pretty good. Like his ultimate is okay, though nobody really uses it because the third skill with a short cooldown actually allows you to spam, and the fact that it's his third skill and not his ultimate that allows you to spam is basically what makes him OP. Like he doesn't even depend on a pet or anything like Milan and Nezuko, but it's just that his moveset is very good. Now, the new character, Primordial or Diablo. A lot of people keep saying, like in the Discord server, they're saying that Beriberi or Misaka is better. Now, of course, for Primordial, it's definitely better that you drop him because he is the free character that you can get from level 106. But of course, if you are still a low level, then that's not very feasible. And besides, other than costumes, there's not really much you can use gems on. So he's not even that bad to buy, and honestly the reason why I feel he's better than Beriberi. So I'm going to just go into detail on the comparison. Obviously he's got nothing on the A tier characters, but for the gems, the contender. So basically the first skill, I mean they're kind of equal. Diablo's first skill is actually very similar to Beriberi's, but Beriberi's is like, it's got a faster cooldown, but it's also got a bit lesser damage. So honestly those two are even. Primordial's second skill has a 9-second cooldown versus Beriberi's 16 seconds, and Beriberi basically will get like an extended M1, but not counting the extended M1, even if you crit on like when she kind of whips it out, Primordial is still going to be doing more damage even if you crit. So most likely like you're going to be doing more damage with Diablo, and also I mean it's got a faster cooldown. So the second move is undisputably better. Now the third move is what makes him, in my opinion, a lot better, because this is the third move. It's got a decent cooldown, I think 16 or 17 seconds, I'm forgetting. It's pretty much similar to Misaka's third move, but it's going to give you speed just like Misaka's. But what makes it better is the fact that it's not just giving you speed, but it's also going to give you 20% attack and more attack range, basically increasing your AoE. Like even your M1s are kind of like small AoE moves from my testing, and it's going to increase your range, which is nice, and it increases your attack, meaning if you pair his third skill with his ultimate, it is really good. So like you want to time it such that your ultimate and your third skill are both off cooldown sometimes. Of course, when your ultimate is still on cooldown, you can use the third as well as the first and second and then just do M1s. But this is basically what makes him a lot better, because when you pair his third skill with the ultimate, his ultimate does a lot more damage than Beriberi. Speaking of which, his ultimate has a massive AoE, probably one of the best out of the gem characters, not counting Eugeo of course. But it like basically spawns a world of sorts, and it does damage in a pretty big AoE, meaning he's potentially quite good as an assist also, and that's why I personally prefer him better than Beriberi. Anyway, Gojo, I'm gonna go and put him bottom A tier, because with the right crit chance and crit damage, he is very good. But I'm keeping him like below Alice. Of course, he is better if you have said stats, but I'm keeping him lower just because you need those specifics, and that's a little bit of an issue with him. Basically you need like, you're looking for above like 50% critical chance and like more than 100% critical damage. So if you're a beginner looking for a 1600 gem character, do not buy this character. I would not recommend it, because his moveset also, it's a little bit hard to get used to. It's a little bit unwieldy because the first move and second move have a very small hitbox. The third move, I mean, yeah, it's movable, but you have to get really close to the enemies without iframes to do any damage. His last move though makes him really good, because if you have a high crit chance and if you crit on his ultimate does burst damage. So if you crit and if you have so much critical damage, you're basically doing triple the normal damage that you're gonna get from an ultimate, which is why he's so good. Shadow Monarch, I mean obviously he's in a league of his own. I know I should make a new tier for him, but I'm too lazy. So I'm gonna just keep him in S tier, but obviously by far the best character. I don't really need to explain myself much. I mean, one of his moves removes the cooldown. I think third move removes his first skill cooldown, is also gonna stun the enemies, and also like the ultimate literally gives 100% crit chance. It's just really good. So Shadow Monarch, of course, undisputably the best character to use. Anyway, Kaneki, I'm gonna go ahead and put like right above Eugeo. I mean, not Eugeo, Bakugo, because he is okay, but I definitely do not like using him much. He's like a weaker Karakuri, because his last move again allows you to spam all three moves. So I mean, it's okay, I guess. Megumin is going to be again C tier because she has decent damage, don't get me wrong, but her moveset is just horrible. This guy is support mostly. I'm gonna go ahead and just keep him in C tier because he is first of all a support and he's not that good of a support. Genos is gonna go right there in B tier, right below Eugeo. He is good for beginners, but once you've exceeded a certain level, he's just not really that worth it. But his moveset is okay. Like the first move kind of gives an explosion. The second move is okay, but you need to be close by. The third move does give you iframes, and so does the last one. But even Saber alters, ultimate does more damage, and she has literally a slightly more mobility than Genos because Saber alters first skill will actually kind of propel you forwards a bit. So that's why I'm not gonna keep Genos that high up. But he's still B tier, he's not among the trash gems characters. Todoroki is okay. I mean, some people do prefer to use him, but I don't. He's not that great in this game, so I mean, there's not much to comment about him. Vampire Toga probably going to be bottom B tier. He's okay. So is Winter Spirit Leah, but both of these are very old characters, so most people won't even have them. Zenitsu, again, not really worth a gem character because Bakugo and Lancer are just way better versions of this character. Shadow Rimuru, honestly, going to be low A tier because he's very expensive and he's just he's a worse version of the regular Demon Lord Rimuru, and Demon Lord Rimuru itself is just A tier. So yeah. Emiya is going to also go and chill in B tier because he's not even that bad. He's only 800 gems, so he's quite a good budget character. Then we have Shadow Yorichi, who's going to be right there. With the glitch, of course, he's probably literally S tier, but I don't know. I think the glitch is patched because of the update, but I don't know. Then we have the regular Rimuru, which is going to be probably low on B tier because I wouldn't say it's not worth it because the ultimate is not bad. It's got good range for an assist. Shadow SDEF is probably going to be top A tier. I'm not keeping this in S tier because the regular SDEF itself is lower on S tier, and Shadow SDEF is really expensive with worse cooldowns, so in my opinion not really worth it. Asuna is pretty an even better budget character, probably along with Emiya because the first and third skill are dash moves, which is amazing. And the third skill even gives you that short iframe duration, and the last one is a movable ultimate. So overall her moveset is actually really really good. The issue is just going to be on the damage, which is not the best. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep these two above Kaneki. Honestly, I don't like Kaneki much. Zoro is gonna be right there. He is good, but I wouldn't say in the same league as Asuna and Emiya, but he is also among the better budget characters. All Might is going to be right there. Rukia is going to be, of course, in C tier, bottom C tier, because she is not really that good. She does get an extended M1 skill, but her damage is just rubbish. Shinra is going to be bottom B tier because his moves set is also decent. One of his moves is kind of a jump up and down, so it's a fast move. One of his moves is a dash. His ultimate is the only thing that kind of lets him down because even his third skill is quite decent because it gives you extra mobility. It gives you extra speed. Sukuna is going to be bottom B tier. Sasuke is going to be C tier, of course, above these guys. Akaza is going to be in bottom C tier because his last move does remove the cooldowns on the first three, so he's not even terrible. Asta is going to be right there. Itadori is also not even that terrible because his moveset is quite decent for such a cheap character, having 200 gems. Tanjiro is also going to chill right there in C tier. Sakura is also going to be in C tier because she does heal, so for a beginner, not terrible. Killua is going to be bottom C tier. Goku D tier. Ichigo probably bottom C tier because he's actually quite decent, if I may say, for a free character. Luffy also D tier. Naruto right below Ichigo. Natsu is also not that bad even for a cheap character. Now, the regular Yorichi is probably going to be like top A tier, right there. Deku is going to be probably D tier. Kirito is going to be he's actually quite good for the price, just 2,400, and he's got a really good moveset, so I'll put him in A tier right there. Lancer is pretty good for like speedrunning, so I'm gonna put him like right above Bakugo right there. I mean, he's decent but not really worth to buy at all, and even if you drop him, he's not worth using overall, but he does have very good mobility at the very least. Demon Lord Rimuru is going to be also just chilling in A tier. I mean, he does have lifesteal, but once again it's useless if you have the stat. This character, Priestess, is going to be like bottom A tier. Support, guys, keep in mind, just a support. I don't have a separate support tier, but she is good as an assist. Saber Alter is going to be right there. Top 3 gem characters right there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.